All right, the countdown is on. We are less than a month away from the highly anticipated wedding of Prince Harry and American actress Meghan Markle. The couple's fairy tale romance has gained attention around the world, and tonight, CBS News begins its royal wedding coverage at 10 p.m. Eastern with a one-hour special focusing on the bride-to-be. Here's a preview of Meghan Markle, American Princess.
The royal stage is set right here at Windsor Castle.
Buckingham Palace proudly announce the engagement of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Congratulations. It's a wonderful fairy tale. It's someone from a different country, a different background, marrying into our royal family.
When you look at Meghan Markle, how do you complete this sentence? Meghan Markle is
a rock star.
We first met, we were introduced actually by a mutual friend.
It was a blind date.
An intimate look at Meghan Markle from people who know her best and know why a blind date was all it took.
I was beautifully surprised when I walked into that room and saw her, and okay, well, I'm going to really have to up my game.
Yeah, she's impossibly stylish and effortlessly so. Maybe frustratingly.
We were Meghan's sorority sisters at Northwestern.
She's going to be a princess and I'm driving to Costco.
Working with her was great.
Dad, what are you doing here?
She's a lovely, lovely actress. She kept me on my P's and Q's, kept me on my toes.
I think she's something spectacular. It's an it factor with an approachability.
She's just kind of the perfect package.
The total package. She's worldly, she cares about things outside of herself, and smart.
Her friends were certainly on to something, because Meghan Markle will indeed become Her Royal Highness when she walks down the aisle here at St. George's Chapel.
He got on one knee.
Of course.
Was it an instant yes from you?
Yes.
She didn't even let me finish. She said, can I say yes, I can?
From the Queen on down, the entire royal family has embraced this vibrant, hopeful couple.
William and I are absolutely thrilled.
For me personally, I hope it means he stays out of my fridge.
What I worry about is that the royal family is not going to be able to deal with this dynamo who's walked into their midst.
Meghan Markle, she's divorced, biracial, she's an actress.
Everything that could have gotten you beheaded, 500 years ago, that's why this engagement, this marriage, has already brought the monarchy well into the 21st century.
When I was growing up, it was unthinkable that there'd be a person of colour in the royal family. And so I welcome this.
These two are going to be the premier global philanthropists in the world. With more on the future princess is CBS This Morning co-host Gayle King.
Welcome.
Gayle, everything that would have gotten you... Are you getting all geared up? Is that
I am.
It's exciting.
But, I just love the idea of love. Because I was one of those kids, or I wasn't a kid then, but who got up to see Princess Diana's wedding, to see, unfortunately, her funeral, and to see Harry and William walking behind that casket. I mean, I can still see that image. Harry was 12 with his face, his head walking down. And I kept thinking, God, I hope her boys are going to be okay. And now, all these years later, William is happily married with 2 kids, another on the way. They're on baby watch. And to see Harry, who's gone through, a very mischievous period, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Find love with somebody who seems to be so stunning and so lovely. I'm so excited by that.
It seems like the real thing. I love that everything that would have gotten you beheaded. Because it's so true.
Right.
He's a Vanity Fair writer he's the only one who got an interview with Meghan after it was announced that they were engaged. And he said that he arrived at her apartment. There was no one there, no handlers, just he and Meghan. And she offered to make lunch for him.
Oh.
And she did. And it's just the two of them that they were sitting there talking for a long period of time. And he was also somebody who said, there's no affect with this young woman, that she really is who she appears to be. She's 36. She's a little bit older than him by 3 years. So she's very different than anything the palace has known. And I think that's a good thing.
I know they don't want to make it about this, but I certainly think it is an integral part of this story, the fact that not only is she divorced, which is, has certain connotations in the royal monarchy in
has
Britain.
Some people clutching their pearls.
Exactly.
It used to, but this is 2018.
Now Camilla and Charles are both divorced, and he's the heir to the throne, so it seems that it's been accepted. But the fact that she's biracial, to me, as somebody who is, as you know, Gayle, a huge monarchy buff, the idea that somebody in the royal family, the current royal family, will be a biracial person is just tremendous. When it would have been unthinkable even 25 years ago.
Yeah, but it's 2018 and it's Harry. And Harry says, you know, they met on a blind date, as we said, and he said he walked in the room and he saw her and thought, okay, I think there is something here. And, you know, they're sort of bound together, too, by they're both very compassionate. They both really are very big in philanthropy, so they have a bond there. And they're both just, you know, come from divorced families. They have a lot in common.
That's one of the things I actually liked about her is she did a lot of charity work independently prior to this. It is a passion of hers. And not the kind where you just write a check.
Yeah. And you know what, Anne-Marie, she had a big life before him, too. You know, it's not that, you know, not that there's anything wrong with that, but she's not some little Mouseburger girl that's just sitting here thinking, oh, my God, I hope one day I get to marry a prince.
Right.
She was a very accomplished actress, very involved in women's issues. Women's inequality issues are very, very important to her. You know, everybody that knows her says she's a smart thinker, a go-getter, and has a great passion for life. So, you know, I'm just so excited and just cheering them on. But it's going to be a big life change for her. But she seems ready for it.
Well, I mean, you know, this does remind me, of course, of Grace Kelly. She was a famous American actress when she married Prince Rainier and became a princess herself. And they seem to have many of those same qualities. They're both glamorous. They're both beautiful. They don't need to marry up, right? They are successful women on their own. And so I think that's and Harry's doing all right himself. You know, he's not.
But Grace Kelly didn't have the happy ending, as we all know.
No, yes, of course.
But you do. There are very many similarities, and people say she's a lot. That Harry once said that, you know, he thinks his mother would have totally approved of her.
Yeah,
which also you can tell means a lot.
Yes.
Can we get into the gossipy bits a little bit? Do you talk about her family because, you know?
Well, okay, her mother is black, a yoga instructor. Her dad was a lighting director for that show Married with Children, and they divorced when Meghan was very young. And they said that they kept a great relationship while she was growing up. And the word is that, I don't know what the relationship is today, but the word is that the father will be walking her down the aisle.
Wow.
And of course her parents will be there. So it's a really big deal.
But what about the siblings, the half-siblings?
Well, I haven't heard about the siblings, but let's just say this, Anne-Marie. One sibling is writing a book, a very snarky, not so nice book.
That's one way to get
Should she be invited to the wedding?
Maybe not.
My vote is no, but nobody's asked me. And then she has a brother that's in the paper this morning saying Meghan is not who she appears to be. Should he be invited to the wedding? Nobody asked me. My vote is no. So I don't, you know, the guest list has been a closely guarded secret under wraps. So we have no idea who's going to be invited. The big guess is that Serena Williams will be invited because they're very good friends and have been friends for a long time, and that she's friends with Victoria Beckham. And the husband, God, what's the husband's name? I know he's very famous.
Bex, David Beckham.
David Beckham, yes. I even know this.
Bex. Well, that's what they call him in Britain. Bex.
David Beckham.
You and your pal Bex.
That she's friends with Victoria and David Beckham, so the word is that they'll probably, and people really think that Elton John will be invited, although Elton said about 2 weeks ago, my invitation hasn't come, and I'm wondering because I live so close, I could roll down the hill.
Right.
So I don't know if he was just saying that because he was just trying to throw us all off track.
Right.
I can't imagine that he would not be invited, but when I interviewed him for a special, he said, no, I don't have an invitation. I don't really expect to be invited. I don't believe that.
Will President Obama and Michelle be invited? Because we know they're close to Harry.
They did announce that the Obamas have not been invited. And, you know, one of the people I interviewed in England said that it's because of the protocol. That even though, and you're right, they do have a relationship and a rapport, that if you're not inviting the sitting president, that it might be disrespectful to invite a former president.
Right.
That was just a speculation.
Right.
Yeah. You know, Vlad, none of this has been confirmed, but this was one of the experts in England.
That sounds right. That sounds right. You have a sitting president, and if you're going to invite a former president, you should invite the sitting president.
It's awkward.
Yeah, and they said the protocol would be very difficult. But we do know that they do have a friendship and relationship with the Obamas.
Maybe they'll go on honeymoon with them, like a big old honeymoon.
I think not.
I mean, now Vlad's talking crazy.
I think they want a little couple time, you know.
They have couple time.
Now you're talking crazy.
No, because it's like we live in a modern world. They have couple time right now.
No, they've been really busy. I mean, she's thrown herself right into this role.
But all the questions are who's designing the dress, don't know, what's it going to look like, who are the bridesmaids. We know that, you know, by English standards, it's a small wedding of 600 people. And when they told me that, 600 people, how is that small? Well, when William and Kate got married in Westminster Abbey, there were over 1,000 guests there, so 600 does feel small.
Intimate. How intimate?
We saw the chapel, and so when you see that, there is an intimacy to that. And so it'll be very interesting to see who makes the cut. So there's a big reception of the 600, and then later in the evening there's a smaller private reception for 200. So we'll see who gets invited. They said it's all the olds and the half-twos are invited to the 600. And then the 200 celebration are their very close friends and the younger crowd, I was told.
Cool. No, I got to tell you, I wasn't that interested in this, and you've made me interested in it.
Think about it this way.
Think about it this way.
Here's the way I think about it. When people say, oh, why does everybody care about this? There is something special about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle because we did not give as much attention to any of the Queen's other children besides Charles when they were married.
That's true.
Does anybody remember what's the third brother's name?
Andrew and Edward.
No, Edward. Nobody. Edward got married and he's got kids and those kids are going to get married and there's not the amount of attention that we're giving to Prince Harry.
But you know what, Vlad, to your point, that's interesting you bring this up because Princess Eugenie, who is Sarah Ferguson's daughter, is engaged, and she's getting married in the same chapel in 2 months, and you're not hearing anything about it.
You're not hearing anything about it.
When we were in England last week and we landed, I go through the passport control thing, and I say to the guy, are you as excited about the wedding as we are? And he goes, no, actually I'm not. You Americans make such a big deal about this. It's the same day as a big soccer championship.
Oh, right.
And they said, we're more excited about that.
That's interesting.
I think, though, when May 19th comes, the people will be in the streets, and they will be very excited about this wedding because everybody loves Harry.
Yeah.
That Wild About Harry is more than just a song in England. Everybody's nuts about him, and they're captivated with Meghan Markle. She's gorgeous, she's stunning, and you do seem to feel that when you look at them, that you're really looking at true love, which is always a nice thing.
Definitely.
Everybody likes love, y'all.
Everybody likes love.
Love me some love.
Love some love. Wish we all had more of it, but we're looking forward to take it all in.
Do you not have enough love?
I can always use more, Gayle.
You can never get too much of a good thing.
Exactly.
I agree. I agree.
Gayle King, thank you so much.
Thank
Can't
you,
wait
guys.
for the
Thank you for having me on.
Yes, so you can
it.
watch the CBS News Special, Meghan Markle, American Princess, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, right here on CBS.